Like that? Tell the people that phony water is back. Like that? Tell the people that phony water is back. Like that?
You are tuned into the W Show on Sideline Sports Talk Network and 100.1 FM, Kansas City. Live from Radio Row in San Francisco, California. Brought to you by Gates Barbecue, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Dillard Zona Rosa, the Soul of Santa, Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services, and Wood Nissan.
Hey, we're back here live from Radio Row. San Francisco is where we are, beautiful sunny San Francisco, and we having some fun today. We have another guest joining us, Mr. Adam Rank, NFL Network fantasy analyst. What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? It's a beautiful day to be out here once again. I love this event so much, and I'm almost bummed that it's going to be ending right now.
Yeah.
And I know there's a game to be played and whatnot.
Sure.
This is the best part. This is what I look forward to all year. As much as, and obviously, if the Bears were playing, a Bears supporter, I would be looking forward to that. But this week and just being able to hang out, see people, it's like our work retreat or once a year work retreat.
Work retreat reunion.
You know, we're best friends for a week, and then we're like, all right, we'll see you in LA in about 51 weeks.
Exactly. You from Chicago?
I was born there, yeah.
Okay.
I was born there, but I grew up in Southern California. The only team I could get my parents off, because they switched. They're like, all right, we'll root for the Lakers and all this stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But they would not hedge off the Bears, and there was no team out there, so not a lot.
I mean, you should be happy right now. I mean, the Bears, they're coming up.
You know what? There was a lot of good stuff that happened this season. It was evident when we were watching Honors on Thursday night. DJ Moore wins for the best moment of the season.
Right.
Joe Tooney is the
Offensive
protector of the year.
Yeah.
The guy who created the award doesn't even get the award.
Yeah.
Like, hey, shout out Deion Dawkins, whoever it was. You're like, hey, could I not have won it?
Yeah.
Like, hey, it was like coming up with an idea. And you're like, oh, somebody else is doing that idea now. Okay, fair.
It's funny the Chiefs got rid of Tooney and then he goes to Chicago and wins an award.
It's weird. It's weird.
Remember
it costs so much money.
Well, last year there was who was the free agent? You guys signed. Kansas City signs the other guard.
I mean, you got Trey Smith, you got Creed Humphrey,
Right.
and you signed both of those guys.
Yeah.
But you guys signed it, and then Joe Tooney becomes available for a 4th round pick.
Yep.
Like, oh God, take that again. That's like when all the Bears fans start talking about looking in, like, hey, we should trade for Max Crosby and doing all this stuff. One of the best trades of last year was Joe Tooney for a 4th round pick.
Yeah, it's crazy. So of course, you're here at NFL Network doing your fantasy. Talk about this game on Sunday, man. Like, who you got? Who you think is going to win?
You know what? I'm so happy for the rest of the world who is sitting there complaining about Kansas City going every year like anybody but the Chiefs. You're like, fine, let's go to the Patriots then.
Yeah.
Happy now?
Right.
Does Travis Kelce seem that obnoxious now? He doesn't. Hey, I wish Taylor Swift was here.
Yeah.
I really like this matchup. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be, a low-scoring game. It'll be one of those Super Bowls tend to be low scoring. First half can be underwhelming. Sorry. I don't know what that terminology means. I was just saying it was going to be under.
Yeah.
Whelming.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't finish the sentence. I really like it. And you know what? It's one of those things, too, where you look at stories and, coming up and watching Sam Darnold progress the way that he did. He was a guy, I live in Southern California, and I remember when he played high school football. He was a fantastic high school player. And I know everybody talks about Texas high school football as this big thing. High school football in Southern California, in particular Orange County and in the Inland Empire, Riverside County, some of these national programs come out of there, and Sam Darnold could have played for any of them. He could have gone to the ones that you hear of, like Orange Lutheran and Modern Day and all this stuff. He played for San Clemente High School. Not even one of the big public schools, just where his friends went is where he went, and he was outstanding, and he did great, and he goes to USC. And so watching him go through what he had to go through with the New York Jets, finding his way, making stops at Carolina and San Francisco. And it was really interesting when he was in San Francisco, because obviously whenever the quarterback goes down in San Francisco, you get CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins, those guys can come in and play fine for a game or two. The 2 games that Sam Darnold played in, he was excellent.
He was dominant,
And it was like Brock Purdy expected to be out 6 weeks. Like, nope, it's 2. I'm good. I'm not going to get Brady'd out of this job. So Brock Purdy's back out of the field, and you're like, I remember thinking that, and I said, you know what? I really believe that Sam Darnold's got an opportunity. And when he went to the Minnesota Vikings, I'm like, perfect. Like, same sort of system, like same family, the Mike Shanahan coaching tree. Like, this is perfect. And then being able to do what he did in Minnesota, I'm glad they got rid of him because he was too good. I didn't enjoy it 2 years ago. But for him to get this chance in Seattle, I thought it was a great move. I'm like, you know what? That's perfect. Let him go out there and do his thing. And, you know, watching him get an opportunity to go out there and win a Super Bowl, I think that's what we like to root for in sports.
What about the coincidence that he's playing against the team in the Super Bowl that he said he's seen ghosts?
Yeah, that's, you know, it's one of those things. I feel like if he can beat the Patriots, he can put the ghost to rest.
And the monkey off his back.
The monkey off his back.
He can kill 2 of them.
The whole thing, you know, it is one of those things where it is such, like, I remember being there on Monday night, and we were at the opening night, and people are still asking him about that. And you're like, you know what, dude? Like, we could let that go at this point. Like, I don't know what he has to do, but it is his opportunity. Like, I literally will put the ghost to rest if he could go out there and win this game. So, and I guess too, if Sam Darnold beats the Patriots there, does that count as a Super Bowl win for the Jets? I finally beat the Patriots.
It's a proxy Super Bowl.
As an avid fantasy owner, is your mind still going even in the off season and in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl?
Not even a little bit. I keep getting caught off guard. Like, hey, give me your sneaky pick for next year.
Right.
Like,
yeah, sure.
I'm gonna start working on that on Saturday. Like or on Monday. It's not a today thing. I was thinking about this because people were asking me who's going to be your number 1 pick, and obviously Jahmyr Gibbs now needs to be considered possibly the number 1 guy. Detroit's going to be great. Bijan Robinson, excellent choice, but I love CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
and I think CeeDee Lamb still got some value because, like, people will still go back. Regardless of what Jamar Chase did last year, they'll be like, yeah, we still like Jamar. And I could see him ending up being the first receiver off the board. But if I'm down a couple of spots and I see CeeDee Lamb sitting there waiting for me, I'm all in.
But you kind of relying on Dak. I mean, you know, so
Dak's a good quarterback.
You're still relying on Dak. He's had some up and down last year or this past season. He was really good. But can he duplicate that?
Yes, Dak is a good quarterback. All right. I think we can be like Dak is a good quarterback. Okay. I don't want it because it comes at the expense of the Bears.
Right.
But I kind of wish Dak could get that part too, where he could get over the whole thing where people are still questioning him. It's like, all right, like Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, like all these guys, even Brock Purdy, are going through this where they're just like, there's nothing you can do that will be good enough for other people. I don't know if it's because of where they were drafted or whatever happened to them earlier in their careers, but they don't get the benefit of the doubt. Like, they're already being like, well, Drake May's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Like, not yet.
What did he exactly do? Last year was Jaden Daniels. You know, they're like, God, he's better than out. You know, you're like, oh gosh, you guys let these guys play a couple of years. Whereas guys like Dak Prescott have played for seasons, and you're like,
yeah. And I'm happy you said it about Dak because I get a lot of flack, especially from this guy over here.
Yeah.
Because a couple years in a row, I said the Cowboys it was going to be Cowboys Chiefs Super Bowl.
Oh.
And now all of a sudden, I like the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are my team, and all this. So I'm taking some flack against Dak and all that. So I'm glad you said that about Dak.
No, he's a good player. Like, he is a good player. Are the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl now?
You think he's the better quarterback in the NFC East?
I still like Jalen Hurts.
He doesn't. He does not.
I think he's an average quarterback.
Yeah, that's a tough opinion and a half.
I think we was talking about earlier how one of the voters gave the pick to Justin Herbert because I think Justin Herbert is better than Jalen Hurts.
Did I say that on the show, or were we talking ahead of time?
I think we were talking ahead.
We're off to hit. Yeah, it is an interesting thing because Jalen Hurts is actually the example of, like, there's nothing you can do that will ever get people to not
know.
All that, like, he's done such a great job. He's a Super Bowl MVP, and people are like,
man,
people don't like efficiency, and you could even date it back to Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. Like when Tom Brady was super efficient, people didn't like that. They liked the
yards.
the animation of Peyton Manning, like pre-snap. But a question I wanted to ask, and I mean, even all of you guys could answer it. I don't know if it was just my algorithm, but I saw a lot of conversation this year about how the NFL is doing a terrible job of developing quarterbacks. So when you look at the Sam Darnolds that take a while to materialize, do you agree with that at all? Do you think that the NFL has a tough time? Because even with the Jayden Daniels taking a step back, you have a couple of guys, the Justin Herberts, that can't get over the hump. Like, is that an issue, like, league wide?
It feels like sometimes they're too quick to pull the plug.
Exactly.
And I think that's part of the reason why Sam Darnold being the prime example right there of, like, pulled the plug too quickly. Baker Mayfield is another player who Cleveland got rid of for seemingly no reason. I mean, he won a playoff game for them. Won a playoff game for them in against the Steelers.
Yeah,
that's a Super Bowl for you guys.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think it really is unfortunate that they don't give them the benefit of the doubt and give them a little bit of opportunity. But there's also, like, something to be said about the organizations or the coaching staffs that are not developing them. And I think this too, as a Bears supporter, everybody's like, well, Caleb's not going to be good because the Bears have historically not had a good quarterback. And you're like, well, that has nothing to do with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, listen, even Kansas City. Look at Kansas City for years. You bring in Joe Montana at the end of his career. You bring in Elvis Gerbach. Alex Smith really, was doing well. That was Andy Reid still, but that's how hard it is to develop a quarterback. You went from Len Dawson. You had a lot of quarterbacks in between Len Dawson and Patrick Mahomes. It's really finding the right coach. It's finding the right, lightning in a bottle a little bit. I just think it's something that it's been happening to the NFL by and large forever.
Yeah.
I mean, think about this too. Like, Jim Plunkett won two Super Bowls with the then Oakland and Los Angeles Raiders. He was drafted by the Patriots. I think was it drafted by the Patriots or drafted by the 49ers? He bounced around. He was on his last legs. He was a backup to Dan Pastorini in the Raiders in 1980, and then he wins 2 Super Bowls. So it's like, this has been something that has been evident, but we didn't have algorithms back in the 80s, so we didn't really get to trade this. We were reading Sports Illustrated, Sport Magazine, or whatever.
And I think even with quarterbacks, and I'm even just thinking of this now, do we hold a lot of quarterbacks to the standard of your Tom Brady's and your Patrick Mahomes? Like, when they come in the league, they're supposed to be the guy right out the bat versus, like, the development we talk about. I mean, I'm one of those.
I see what you're doing here. I keep going, but I see what you're doing.
Well, no, and I'm saying, because I'm agreeing with him. Like, they pulled a plug too fast. Like, I'm a guy that's a Tyrod Taylor guy. Like, I think if you put a Tyrod Taylor in a situation where he's with a coach, and maybe it's not a Ben Johnson, but maybe it's it's a different mind at offensive coordinator that can pull a guy like that out, because I think Tyrod Taylor is a guy that, he's got the legs, so he's not going to be a statue in the pocket, but he can also throw he can make a lot of different throws. And I think certain guys like the Tyrods, the Jalen's don't get the respect, that they deserve.
Yeah. And I thought he was going to go to the Shedeur route. That's what I felt like he was going to go to the Shedeur route. With what
because Shedeur needs time, and I think this year was kind of indicative of that, because at the first game he played, it was like, okay, we see something there. Second game he played, okay, we see a little bit more there. And if you give him that development, so again in the offseason, if you get somebody behind him, I think he can make that leap that we expect. Maybe not a leap to the Super Bowl, maybe not a leap to where he's leading the division, but I think he's a guy that could definitely compete.
And I feel like Shedeur kind of got the bad end of the stick, because he had a lot of fans that wanted to put him on the pedestal so soon. And it was like, nah, even though you said it needs a little bit more time, all the fans didn't want him to have time. They want to just throw him out there. And I feel like, and even we talked to some quarterbacks earlier, some young guys, and they were just like, oh, well, sometimes just, you got to sit back and wait your turn. And then when your turn comes, you got to be ready. And I just didn't want him to go out there and not be ready.
Part of that though was his family.
Yeah.
So wouldn't allow him. I saw it when Todd Monken met with him recently. He's like, "We tried to draft you.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this at some point." That would have been the perfect place for him to go.
Yeah.
And I really wish they would have saw that for what it was. And been like, Lamar Jackson does miss games.
Yep.
And if he would have been in there in that offense with Todd Monken behind Lamar Jackson, he would have gotten his opportunities to play the games that Snoop Huntley played.
Yeah.
He would have played. And then he goes out there and he puts enough stuff on tape. And then eventually you're going to go out there and get yourself, they're either going to move on from Lamar or they're going to move you and you're going to go out and you're going to get paid somewhere else. And so that was, that's another thing too. And I think about the situation Justin Fields has been in. Like all the places he went.
Another one of those.
Goodness gracious. If he gets drafted, so the 49ers, I believe that's the same draft where they took Trey Lance.
Yeah.
If it's not, or it's close enough, but it's like if he would have gone to a team like San Francisco where he could have sat for a little bit, developed a little bit more, even if he would have been, again, just getting a couple of years to sit there and grow and develop. I know that the Packer fans always pretend like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Because well, Jordan Love didn't develop just sitting there for 3 years. I'm like, because they're always trying to play like, well, he's only a third-year starter. I'm like, he's going into his 7th year in this league.
Right.
You do pick stuff up being that backup
The sponge, man.
it is. There is something about that. Like Patrick Mahomes benefited
Miles
from
Smith. He
sitting
did.
out for 1 year. And so you can't say that it's not an issue. And I think that with a lot of these quarterbacks, especially when you go to quarterback-starved teams like the Jets,
the
Browns, the Bears,
Yeah.
in some points, like you're
Now
being
Miami, I think.
rushed out of the field. Yeah, Miami's going to draft a quarterback probably and put him out there.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to be, and it just ends up being this cycle. Like if you were coming out, like Fernando Mendoza is going to go to the Raiders most likely.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to be the backup or you don't want to do anything like that. But if you were drafted by a team that was going to allow you to sit and learn a little bit, your career would be much better off.
Sure.
And then the Raiders, I mean, they really just need to draft some, and not even draft some linemen, but if you get a few decent linemen, especially from your center to guard on either side.
Yeah.
I mean, with the mixture of, a young quarterback with a young guy in Genty, you could make some noise, and you'd almost be second to the Chiefs, if not beating the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I feel like.
What do you mean second to the Chiefs?
Well, because I'm saying I think they could compete with a Broncos and a
Did you watch the Raiders
in the
last
chart. Well, and that's what I'm saying. They had no offensive line.
They had no
and so like to be able to have the talent that they have at running back and the season that he had without an offensive line, you shore up that offensive line with him. He could help out your quarterback, your young quarterback. You focus on the run. Yes, they have some defensive issues, but also you have a Chargers team that's, always middling.
Right.
And then you have a Broncos team that they emerged this year. Can they do it again next year? Likely. But can Bo Nix have that second year, that lightning in a bottle that he had this year?
With quarterbacks, I always ask the question, are the plays ran lack of innovation because of the coaching staff or lack of attributes that the quarterback has? And that's what I ask the questions about Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about his efficiency, but then I always go back and say, well, he only threw the ball 14 times or 18 times. And so if you get 8 or 10 passes, it looked like it's highly efficient, but it's a small sample. Is that because he can't throw into the windows,
No.
or because the coaching staff is not innovative enough to have him throw into those windows?
You could pull
Because
up.
AJ Brown was saying a lot of things. The question was, hey, what do you feel about the offense? And he said passing. What does that mean? Devontae Smith sitting right next to him was saying the same things, but AJ Brown overshadowed him because he was more vocal. So is this a problem with Jalen or the offensive coordinator?
Coordinator.
They're blowing out the coordinators, and nobody wants to go out there and work with Nick Sirianni, which to me says that is probably the problem.
Yeah.
That is probably the
I think that's the issue because wasn't it just yesterday they got rid of their run game coordinator or the offensive line coach? So again, like, yes, Nick Sirianni is the problem because if he's a guy that isn't the offensive mind that they make him out to be, but then his coordinators that do come in, your Shane Steichens and I forget the other Kellen Moores. When you have your Kellen Moores in there, you see what they could do with a Jalen Hurts. Like the question isn't if Jalen Hurts is talented. Like we saw him even go from Alabama to Oklahoma and still make the throws that you want a quarterback to make. But yes, coordinator.
I think saying that it's Nick Sirianni is the problem in Philadelphia is the irony is that he's in the perfect spot to get fired after winning the Super Bowl and actually being the problem for the team.
He is.
It's like he can get fired and they'll say, "Oh, that's just Philly because he had one bad year."
But then who else do you bring in?
It's one of those situations where you wonder, similar to what happened in Baltimore, where you're like, I wish Mike McDonald was our coach.
Yeah.
Right now. But you couldn't get rid of John Harbaugh because he had just gone to the AFC Championship game. Are you going to be the coach? Are you going to be that team that's like, I got you. Went to the AFC Championship game. We're going to blow you out.
But if he was in Philly, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, Philly doesn't.
I think, though, when you were saying that when they was pulling the strings on a lot of quarterbacks and kicking them out early before they develop, I think with Sean McDermott getting fired and the pressure with some organizations, I think I'm going to see a trend of a lot of coaches getting fired a lot early with these new quarterbacks.
I mean, think about that. They went 10 openings this year. Like there was a lot. And it's almost to the point of like, should you have fired your coach? Like, who are you really going out there? I think for the Buffalo Bills, it was obvious they were going to go with Joe Brady, kind of keep it in-house a little bit. But at the same time, like with Arizona, and you're like, I guess we'll take, like, Arizona fired their coach without a plan, it felt like. And then they're like, I guess.
And now they
Mike LaFleur.
Do you think they're going to let Kyler Murray go?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I think it's up to the coach. And the problem is like you're coming into these jobs. Now, this is why coming into this offseason, why I kept saying that the Raiders job was one of the best jobs out there. Because at least you're getting your quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, listen, they're going to give me 3 years with, hopefully, 3 years with Fernando Mendoza. So we can go out there and do this thing and try to build it together.
Sure.
Now, if you're Mike LaFleur, you're going to Arizona, like, do I got to deal with Kyler Murray? Okay, are we drafting a quarterback? Are we bringing in a veteran? Are we bringing in, I don't know if Kirk Cousins is the right example, but are we bringing in a veteran? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we going to get Justin Fields? Like, again, like you're going through all this stuff, and it's, if you don't have a plan, like that's one of the things that I really pushed back on a lot of people last season when they were talking about the Bears, and they were like, same old Bears. I'm like, it really isn't.
No,
because when you look at what they did, they went out there and they rebuilt their offensive line.
Yeah.
Traded for Joe Thuney, traded for Jonah Jackson, signed Drew Dahlman. And it wasn't a shock to me that we drafted Colston Loveland. You could go back to NFL.com. My mock draft with a twist. It's never a prediction piece. I'm not Peter Schrager. I'm not like, here's what I'm hearing around the league. I'm always like, this is what teams should do.
Yeah.
If you're smart, you'll do this. I'm not always right. But I didn't have Colston. I had the 2 tight ends going in the top 10. My thing would have been, if I was Jacksonville, I would have stuck at 5 and taken Tyler Warren. And I go, whatever happens with Travis Hunter, remains to be seen. But I'm like, you guys had Ty Warren last year on that offense.
I think they had a lot of faith in Strange and the other guy.
Brenton Strange is a good player, but I think Ty Warren would have been really good for them. And I actually had Carolina taking Colston Loveland. Now, obviously, Ted McMillan played very well.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But I had also written, too, I said, if Colston Loveland doesn't get picked, don't be shocked if he goes to Chicago. Because I was starting to see this, too. I go, they're going to spend a lot of their draft resources on the offensive side of the ball. And we saw that. They drafted Colston Loveland, Luther Burden III, who, in that article, I told the Buffalo Bills, take Luther Burden III. So they had that, and then they go Ozzie Trapillo, and it worked out. These teams have to take that same mindset. If I'm the Raiders, and if I'm the Raiders right now and I get an opportunity, if I was running that team, we would definitely trade Max Crosby because you're going to get multiple. You're going to get multiple. You're not winning. You're not winning in his window. He's 27, 28, somewhere in there. A little bit older than Micah Parsons, but not quite as old. He needs to go to a team that's ready to go.
Yeah.
Get at least 1 first-round pick, maybe 2, whatever the market is going to bear. So then use every pick that you have on the
defense.
Offensive. You're not going to stop anybody. Like just go into next year being like, we're not. So if we're assuming it's going to be Clint Kubiak, I would just go to the press conference like, we're going to give up 50 points a game probably, but we're going to try to score 51.
Exactly.
And we're going to have Ashton Jeanty. We're going to have Brock Bowers. We're going to have Fernando Mendoza. one of our first round picks is going to be either on the offensive line or it's going to be a wide receiver or whatever it's going to be. First 4 rounds. That's where we're going. We are going to make sure that Fernando Mendoza is going to be set up to be successful.
Yeah.
If we stop anybody and win games, great.
Right. Yeah.
But the most important thing that we have to do
Keep his confidence
is
up.
make sure our quarterback is good. Because when your quarterback is good, the world is so much different.
It is.
Yes,
and
indeed.
I've been saying this, and I don't know if you agree, but I'm like, if I'm the Chiefs, I'd give up Chris Jones to
I said that
to get Max Crosby. I mean, I know in division and all that, but I would give up Chris Jones whether he gets some draft picks because Chris Jones 30 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw his production go just like this.
Yeah.
And so I'd give up Chris Jones to do some other things.
But they should trade Chris Jones
Mhm.
to Chicago. No. But it's one of those, they do need to move off of it. But I don't know if the Raiders, but for the Raiders, that doesn't make sense because you don't need aging. You need the youngest players possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need as many. And this is why you go out there and draft all these young offensive players. So you're
Yeah.
all on the same contract
Yep.
length
Yeah,
as
it's
Fernando
catchphrase.
Mendoza. And then, we'll figure it out.
That's what I said about Chris Jones a couple of years ago when he was in his first free agency. I thought the Chiefs should trade him when Miami had all the cap space and all the trades, so they can pick a younger front line, a healthier front line, and a lower expensive, less expensive front line,
Mhm.
and put it all on offense to help out to help out Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
We had Coastal Loveland on the show the other day, and the first thing I asked him was like, "Hey, that pass to DJ Moore was amazing," and obviously he ended up winning later in the night. And I said, "You get to see him every day in practice. Is it even more exciting seeing him in practice?" And he said, "You wouldn't even imagine the throws. You think Chicago hit a lightning in the bottle, and with Ben Johnson coming in,
Yes.
I love it.
so division winners next year."
Again, yeah, repeat.
Mm.
I love it. I've been a Caleb Williams fan since his time at Oklahoma. So when he came into the league, and it was a great civil war in Chicago, where you had the Justin Fields people, you had the Caleb Williams people,
Right.
and I was just listen. I'm going to let the decision makers make this decision. They know better than I do. I get it. I get the science on both sides of it. They made the right deal because you do want, because the problem with keeping Justin Fields in that moment would have been you have to make a decision on if you're paying him or not.
Yeah.
So Justin Fields would be getting his 5th-year deal, and you'd
Yeah.
have to do. Caleb Williams now is still going into his 3rd season, a more team-friendly contract for a couple of years. So I think that they did, and I think that once we get out a couple seasons away, we're gonna look back and it'll be like Caleb Williams was for sure the top pick.
Yes.
He was the top pick.
I think one of the quarterbacks we're missing, and I said this early on the show, was C.J. Stroud, and with that horrible game that he had in the playoffs. And I thought that they should have pulled him and put in David Mills. Do you think that rookie year for C.J. Stroud was like his peak, and that he's just plateauing down, and they should probably in the next 2 or 3 years think to go somewhere else with this defense that they have?
I think that part of the problem is that he sunned Caleb Williams. That curse is held over him, and Chicago, maybe just me, but I always talk about that. You had to go up there and be like, hey, you're going to be good in this league. I'm going to be better than you.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. You don't tell me to stick with it.
After my team lost, I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to see C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams in the Super Bowl together to make an even better Super Bowl story. To say, hey, the guy that you tried to sign is now the guy you're going against in the Super Bowl. That would have been beautiful.
That. Yeah, we were fantasy booking a lot of that stuff, but it does go to show you how difficult it is to win with a stacked defense, because the thing that is holding back that team is the quarterback.
Yes.
And so, would you trade being not as dominant on defense, but you have this amazing quarterback who can go out there and win you games? CJ Stroud's not going to go out there and win you a game. That we haven't seen that guy in a couple of years. I still hope he's in there. I do like CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I think he's a good player. I think he's, there's been some weird things that went on with firing CJ Slovic, whoever the coordinator was, Bobby Slovic.
Bobby Slovic, yeah.
Yeah, firing him, who I think is in Miami now. He just resurfaced again. But it's I hope he comes through. But again, I don't know how much time he's going to be given with that, because that window's going to close.
Yeah.
That defense is
Really
so
fast,
So
yeah.
good.
Adam, tell people how they can find you.
Oh my gosh, there are so many different avenues. You can find me on the NFL Network. I have a Bears-specific podcast called the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank. It's part of the Sick Media Network. Mine's the Bears Podcast, which is very good. If you're fans of Jim Rome, I do the After Hour with Jim Rome on his Fast channel, which is on Hulu and all the Roku and all that stuff. We
Yeah.
do that. We're doing it from here this afternoon at at 6 Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
And Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. All the stuff. If I haven't bored you too much.
Oh, no, I
yeah.
appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming on with us.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I had to tell everybody, too. I blew you off yesterday. Because I had my shirt. I was waiting.
Yeah.
I was going to go out and
Yeah.
represent it.
With the Satchel Paige shirt, man.
What a great story. I love history.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love the history of sport. And Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson, I've never seen these guys play, obviously.
Right.
But reading the stories, like two of my favorite players.
Yeah, Josh Gibson's great grandson on the show yesterday.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And if you ever come down to Kansas City, look us up, man. We'll take you
Oh,
to the Negro
definitely.
Leagues, man. Get
I
you
can't
some Gates
wait.
barbecue and everything and talk
Yeah.
sports.
Can't wait.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
That's
Thank
Adam
you.
Rank. We'll be back here live later on with more guests here at Radio Row.
The views and opinions expressed with the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.